Hey, how you guys doing? This is William Myers from Mantis Outdoors, back at you with another video. And in today's video, Chris has hooked me up with a really cool item from Worktop, their Spearpoint. And I used to have a Spearpoint pretty much just like this, and I always kept it on me. But I ended up trading it for some other cool stuff. That's a long story short. But this Spearpoint from Worktop is really cool. And you know, one of the things I really like about these is they're small enough to go in the back of my knife, in my sheath, and I'll show you that here in a second. But these things are just really great for getting you out of a bind if you really actually need it. It's way too heavy. Some people say that, you know, you could make an arrow out of this. That's insane. This is way too heavy for that. But it would make a pretty bomber secondary blade or a spear point. Get it? Anyway, so let's go ahead and knock it into something and see what we can do. All right, so we're going to start out with a jam knot. So all that is, if you don't know, is I start out by tying a knot in it just like this, and then I'll tie another overhand knot around, and that jams up against that first knot that I just made. So let's go ahead and try that. Get it basically where I want it. And this just helps me seat the blade, and it also helps me seat it really tightly too. So you can do this a couple of different ways. You can just put a loop in it just like this, like the start of a knot, and then when you pull the other side through, that's what's going to jam it up. You can do it that way, or you can tie it around once you get it there.
Tie string to it so you can throw it and yank it back like that chick from Prey.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, because I want a knife flying at my head. Just kind of clean that knot up a little bit, and we'll be good to go. And the good thing about the jam knot, and what helps me do things like this, is when I pull on this string, that jam knot is jamming against it, and it's tightening but won't release. So that makes this cinch up really well. And then we'll do some loops around. Just like that. Stay away from that blade when you're doing this, because this thing is incredibly sharp. I've already checked it out.
Call your dog before Will accidentally stabs it in the head with a spear.
Kink.
Orion, go on. Get away from the edged weapons. Bar had one casualty today.
Yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah, if you can't tell, I actually cut myself today. I had to go to the ER real quick and get it stitched up. It was that bad. Kind of broke one of my own rules, cutting towards myself. When we come out here and do videos, we're really time limited. We don't have a lot of time. So I kind of got in a little bit of hurry, and like I said, broke one of my own rules of cutting towards myself.
Rules are meant to be broken.
That's right.
F authority.
All right, so now I'll just kind of lash it the way I normally lash things. I'll make a loop down here, lash it around, and then pull the loop up. Without slitting my wrist. Then that little tag loop that I put in there, you can put the working end in there, just like that. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. So obviously, this could be like a secondary knife for you, or you know, if something ever did happen to you. Spears are like keep the boogeyman away. You know, you make implements that if you don't have a firearm on you at the time and something happens to you, something like this is going to keep your morale up, because you know you're going to be able to take care of yourself with this. Self-defense, food procurement, etc., etc. But what I would do if I was fashioning this is I would melt all this tarred mariner bank line, because once it cools, it kind of congeals into one solid block, and this stuff's not going to go anywhere. But yeah, this isn't going to go anywhere anyway. It's pretty solidly locked in there. So you could have something half the size, a little bit shorter, and it just be like another knife, and you could use it as a knife. I mean, it's really going to work really well. Obviously, you know, I'm not going to sit here and make a big old feather stick with it. Just wanted to show you that, you know, lashing it like this is not going to go anywhere. Now, like, obviously you're not going to baton with this. Come on, be real, right? You're going to be limited by what you can do with this as a secondary blade. But as a spear, you know, I wouldn't feel too bad about throwing this into a hog or something like that, which I've done several times. Just call me Tim Wells. But he's a guy on YouTube that uses spears, and I kind of made one of his spears almost just like this and hunted the same way he did down in Kentucky. All right, guys, so I just wanted to get some close-up pictures, some video of what I did here to show you guys. You know, I just took a really thin stick and split it down the middle, and that's actually how I hurt myself, to be honest with you. Like I said, I was in a hurry splitting this stick, and I had my hand here, and I went whoop, just a light touch with the Spyderco that I have absolutely phenomenally razor sharp, just split me wide open to the meat. I'm lucky I didn't hit a tendon. But so I basically just took the bark off this, put a notch in here, that way the bank line digs into that notch, and all of this is very, very, very sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. Before I cut myself again, I better stop, huh? But if I was going to use this, I would use a lot more bank line. I would want this all the way kind of lashed up, so nothing does split this out. It's split. This is just for demonstrational purposes. This is split way more than I would actually normally do it. But there you guys go. You know, something like this is bomber for being in a jam and getting stuck out of a jam. Ah, the dog. There's a dog down here. Hit the tripod. There you guys go. Work Tough Spearpoint. All right, guys. So like I said, I wanted to show you how I would carry this. It comes with a Kydex sheath. Does it come? It comes with the Kydex sheath, correct? You don't know?
Yeah.
It does. Well, okay. So it comes with a Kydex sheath, but I prefer to carry it inside my knife. And what I mean by that is, if you have any kind of LT style knife, I mean these type of Kydex sheaths are really, really common these days, to where it has a leather back, you know, the lock and all that stuff. This is the Sospies, and still alive and kicking after a decade of use. Dang near. A little bit of knife porn there for you. But like I said, if these type of Kydex sheaths are really really popular, you know, with the leather back, and what I'll do is I will remove the Chicago screw from the back of this, and I just feed it in to the back, and it seats perfectly right into the back of my knife, just like that. And that's literally not going, I'm holding on to the Spearpoint right now. That's not going to go anywhere. It's really tight in there. It's not going anywhere. A couple sail needles back there. You guys know the tricks. Excuse me. But like I said, it's not going to go anywhere, and I can feed my belt through that, and you'll forget that it's there half the time. So that's how I would carry it. I would probably ditch this Kydex sheath and just carry it just like that. All right, guys, there you go. It's a really short video. I just wanted to show you that Work Tough Spearpoint. I really dig those. I like the ideal of them. You know, if it gets you out of a mess, very versatile little tool. You know, there's only so much that it will do, but it does those things really well. So like I said, this is a very short video. I just wanted to introduce you to that product, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe down below. Liking the video helps me and my channel out a lot. I appreciate all your views, and hopefully we'll see you in the woods.